So hi and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a review of some leather care products. So start off by saying that these were very kindly sent to me by the Leather Repair Company, sent to me actually because of another detailer YouTuber who makes amazing videos, and if you aren't subscribed to him already, then I don't know what you're doing and you should go there now, or maybe just slightly after this video open it in a new tab. That is Graham GM Details. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to his channel, so definitely go and check that out if you aren't subscribed already, and I'll leave a link to his Instagram as well. But I'll move on to the products now. So these were very kindly sent, but again, with all my reviews, whether they're sent or not, they're going to be honest and just basically based on my kind of experience and testing using them. So I've actually got 4 different products and a couple of accessories to talk about today. So the first product I've got is a leather cleaner. Then I've got a protection cream. I've also got an air freshener, and finally I've got a dye stopper, which is that one there. And I've also got the accessories here, so this foam pad, and also, this is really awkward, also this as well. So I'll pop them down for a second. So I'm going to start off in the order that you'd actually use the products. So starting off with this leather cleaner. So I really kind of was in need of a decent leather cleaner. I'm running out at the moment. I was using Colour Lock leather cleaner, the mild one, which is like kind of a foaming cleaner. So I hadn't actually tried a spray. I've got absolute like dregs of that left, so it was good timing that I got this actually. But basically it's more of a kind of, it's a spray rather than a foaming kind of product to use. So you can actually get decent foam out of it, and I've seen that on other people's channels where it actually foams up quite well if you scrub it in with a brush. I didn't do that. I used it on just with the cloth to basically clean my car. So I couldn't do a huge kind of test of this in terms of cleaning absolutely like grubby leather, because the only leather that I really use it on is my own car, and I clean it once a week anyway. I don't deep clean the leather once a week, but I clean the interior once a week, so it's not ever really in that sort of bad of a state. On the seats, they came up really nicely. It left a very nice matte finish. There was no residue whatsoever left behind, and that was particularly evident on the wheel. So I did use it on the steering wheel as well, and it was like a little bit where you could see a tiny bit of grease on the steering wheel. Nothing horrendous. It wasn't too bad, so this got rid of that completely fine. No trouble whatsoever. And I noticed as well that there was absolutely no kind of tacky feel left on the leather afterwards. So when I got in to drive the car sort of a few hours later, when I touched the steering wheel, it felt completely smooth, and there was no kind of grabby tacky feel, which you can get if you're using like all-purpose cleaners on the leather. Not all of them, I've not tried every one, but you generally obviously best off using a specific leather cleaner for your leather. But you just don't get that kind of tacky feel on either the seats or the steering wheel. So it did a good job of cleaning. I haven't got any amazing before and afters to show you because the leather wasn't that bad to start with, but it did a good job of cleaning and left a very nice finish, so I did enjoy using this product. Also to know, and I will bring it up later probably, but the products smell like leather, which is a really nice touch. I haven't really got anything like this that smells of leather, and I think I like my interior to obviously have that kind of new car smell. It's a couple of years old now, so unfortunately it's gone. But this I did notice did bring it back, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later, particularly when I move on to the air freshener. But it left a really nice smell in the car, so that's something to note before I move on. Next was onto the protection cream. So it's sort of something you would use to kind of, some people might call this a leather sealant. It does, I feel like, have some kind of conditioning properties in terms of it softens the leather, but it's not a specific kind of conditioner. It's more of a protective role rather than kind of replenishing the leather, if that makes sense. I'm probably just sort of not really talking about this properly, but generally this is kind of to properly maintain your leather, and to kind of protect it from things like there's dye transfer, but we'll talk about that because I've got that product. But things like dye transfer, it will help if you're spilling stuff on the seats. To be honest, probably most people who are buying these kind of products aren't particularly likely to spill things on the seats. Maybe if you've got kids, you might have to deal with spillages and stuff like that, but generally it's obviously help with things like friction as well, so you know, particularly on kind of the sides of the seats when you're sliding in and out of them, you can get kind of that friction, and that doesn't really help the leather. It's going to sort of promote things like cracking and sort of like wearing the leather down a little bit, and this is going to help against that. So another thing with this product is it smelt of leather, so that was another really thing that I really liked about it, but it did leave an incredibly sort of smooth finish to the leather. But what was the best thing about it was how matte it was, so there was absolutely no gloss or shine whatsoever. It was that sort of factory finish, which if you're applying products like this is really kind of probably what most people are after. In the past I have used this one here, so this is Gyeon Leather Coat for this kind of purpose. I didn't really like this, but it does leave a different finish. I would have said that left a matte finish until trying that doesn't leave a matte finish anymore, and I was wrong about that. I think I've probably spoken about it in the past and said it does leave a little bit of a sheen to leather, that one, and it's sort of when you sit down and it feels quite slippy. This just feels like completely natural leather, or just we talk about natural leather in cars. Obviously most of you probably know this already, but the leather's got a clear coat on it, particularly if you're dealing with newer cars. Unless they're really, really worn, that clear coat's probably going to be in decent condition. It will wear away eventually, and things like that protection cream are going to stop that happening. So there's obviously this kind of argument of, do you kind of need to use things that are really designed to maintain the leather if you're just dealing with the clear coat? But you obviously want to maintain the leather as much as possible, and these kind of creams do that even if you're not physically touching the leather. They're designed to maintain it kind of indirectly, I suppose, is a way to sort of describe that. So this did leave an incredibly nice matte finish, and the leather looked fantastic afterwards, and it smelled amazing too. So again, with that product, really easy to use. You just kind of I use it with a foam applicator, so I just kind of dabbed it on and rubbed it in. You need very, very little of this product to go over your seats. Before I forget to mention, with this kind of product, you won't really want to be using it on like your steering wheel or your gear stick or your handbrake or anything like that. You want to be using this on things that you aren't going to be touching when you're driving, because they will leave that kind of really sort of soft, kind of smooth feeling to it, and if you do that on your steering wheel, it's risky. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be adding things that add that kind of really sort of slippy feel to it. So don't use it on your steering wheel, just use it on your seats. Or I used it on the there's a bit of leather on my dash, and also a bit in the kind of doors, so I used it on that as well, so that's fine to use. But again, finish was really, really nice, and it seems to be lasting. I've had it for sort of a couple of weeks, and it still feels very nice and looks really nice too. So next one was this dye stopper. So this is obviously more for kind of if you're wearing jeans and you want to stop your dye from your jeans essentially rubbing onto the leather. I have dark leather in the car, so it's not a massive concern to me. It's more something you would notice if you had lighter leather. However, just because I can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, so it's worth using these products if you really kind of care about maintaining the finish. And you know, even though I might not see the dye from my jeans on the car seats, I'd still rather it wasn't there. So this product's obviously going to help against that. So in terms of using this, you spray it on, wipe it over. You don't have to wipe this off. So what I did notice is initially when I applied it, so I applied it over the protection cream, I gave that a few hours to dry. So you can apply a couple of layers of that actually. You can apply, I think, up to 3 layers is optimal. I applied 2 because I was going to do the 3rd layer and it started chucking it down, and I had to get inside because the doors were getting soaked, so I was like, I'm just going to do this later. Anyway, so I went for 2 layers when I initially applied this, and then later on in the day I went and applied this one. So when I initially applied it, obviously when it was wet it looked quite shiny, and I was thinking, oh, is it going to kind of ruin the matte effect that this protection cream's left? But it didn't at all. It left a completely matte finish once it had dried. So you can kind of apply this without worrying that it's going to affect that finish. It does leave like a completely natural finish like that does too. So finally, moving on to the air freshener. So this is going to be a love or hate product. I love it because I like the smell of leather and I like my car to smell like when I first bought it. However, some people absolutely hate the smell of leather. I've had this and I've asked a few people to smell it, and it is a love or hate thing. It smells of leather, so if you like the smell of leather, you will like this. If you don't, you're going to absolutely hate it. So just to keep in mind, it is quite strong, is what I'm trying to say. So it's good if you do really enjoy the smell of leather, you will like this. So what I did notice about this and kind of the overall effect, because it all have that leather scent, is that the car did noticeably smell of leather for quite a few days afterwards. So probably up until about day 5 or 6, it was noticeable. Every time I got in the car, I actually noticed the smell of it and I could smell it. After around sort of day 5 or 6, it was one of those where if I sort of remembered to think about it, I would smell it, and then after a week I couldn't really smell it anymore. But I'm not sure whether that was entirely the actual leather protectant cream that was smelling like that, or whether it was the air freshener. Probably more inclined to say it was the air freshener. I feel like that would probably last longer, but it could have obviously probably was a combination of the two. But either way, to get a product that's smelling like that for that long, particularly with kind of a sprayable air freshener, is quite impressive. I always, when I'm doing my interior, just give it a quick spray with an air freshener, just quickly spray the mats, just because I feel like it finishes it off. But usually I clean the car on the weekends, and then when I get to drive it again on Monday, I don't smell it whatsoever, so I don't really know why I bother. It smells great when I spray the mats and put them back in the car, but apart from that, it's kind of a waste of time. But at least with this one, you do actually get that lasting kind of smell. So prices, before I forget, before I wrap up the video, I just want to quickly talk about that. So this here, so we're talking 250ml, 250ml, 100ml and 50ml. So they do come in quite a range of sizes. This is kind of the middle sort of range. I think they come in like 100ml sample sizes, these two. You also can get quite larger quantities of them. So I'm just going to talk about these prices, because if I talked about them all, we'd be here all day. Which usually in most of my videos we are. But anyway, so the leather cleaner, 250ml of that, you're looking at £8.50. For the leather protection cream, you are looking at £12. And before I forget to mention, you can buy those two in a bundle. So for those in the set, for those sizes, it would be £19. For the air freshener, it's £4.50 for that size. And for the I've got them written down here, that's why I keep looking down there. For the dye stopper is £8.50. So in terms of prices, I think that for specifically designed leather care products, they're sort of in line with what I've seen from other similar kind of brands. You are getting quite premium experience from these. I really did think that they stood out. The leather cleaner did a fantastic job, didn't use it on anything particularly challenging. The leather protectant cream was fantastic. It put Gyeon leather coat to shame, which I know isn't really, I've not really heard that many people talking about Gyeon leather coat as being like, oh my god, it's the best product for leather. But Gyeon's quite a well-known brand, but this product was just miles better in terms of leaving that kind of really nice finish and actually protecting the leather. It did a really good job in terms of that. The air freshener, I think, you know, you don't need much of it. I sprayed 2 sprays onto just one of the mats and could smell it for 5 or 6 days. So you don't need too much of it. For 50ml, I think £4.50, it's reasonably expensive for an air freshener. It's not the cheapest, but it is a little bit different. It's up to you, you chuck that on your order. You might get free delivery and chuck that on the order. I'm not sure what the delivery charges are actually. But it is a nice air freshener, and also the leather protectant, the dye stopper. I think that again is similar, kind of from doing a bit of research, what I've seen price wise. I think obviously the 2 products you're really going to want to start with are the leather cleaner and the leather protection cream. You're going to probably get the most benefit out of those 2. So I think that kind of set for £19 if you're looking to either replace what you've got or you've just got a new car with leather, then that's a pretty good deal. Also you can get, I've not got the prices of these, but this is a terry cloth and also the foam applicator are both quite good quality. Nothing amazingly special about them, but I'm not sure exactly how much they are, but if you've not got any, then you probably want to pick these up and you can know that they are good quality. So that kind of wraps up the video. So again, thank you very much to the leather repair company, or restorers, whichever you want to call them. Thanks very much for sending these over, really appreciated it. And thank you very much to Graham for making it happen. Again, if you haven't already opened a new tab and gone and watched these videos, then go and do that now. The link is in the description. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, it'd be fantastic if you could drop it a like. If you are enjoying this kind of content, you like seeing product reviews and things like that, and you aren't subscribed already, then it'd be brilliant, especially if you stuck around for this long listening to me go on for 15 minutes, then you might as well give us a subscribe. And also comment down below, have you tried these products? What leather care stuff do you use? Let me know. But thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.